and we'll get started. Good evening, everyone. I am Hector Gomez, the town manager for the town of Surfside, and we are here together for a condo special assessments program workshop. We have a very special guest, Mr. Sean Tops from Miami-Dade County Public Housing Community Development. I'll have him introduce himself in a minute. And ultimately, the goal is to provide condo owners or any residents in that matter what assessments program exists by the county and any programs how they can be applicable to Surfside to help assist residents with unfortunate incurred costs of assessments pertaining to condominiums. I am Hector Gomez. Part of my panelist team, I have Christina Brown, our grants consultant. So if there's anything off branch that we can try and assist with, we'll be taking notes. I will want to thank Commissioner Myshide for having set up this and organized it for us. I think it's a great platform to provide a good resource for our residents, and Commissioner Velasquez for assisting with this tonight. So with that, I'll hand it off to Sean Tops, and we have a PowerPoint that's presented. I hope that it's shared screen. Yes, it's being shared officially. Sean, do you see the PowerPoint?
Good evening, guys, or everyone. I call people guys because I try to get that personal attachment. My name is Sean Tops. I supervise Miami-Dade County's first-time homebuyer program and single-family rehab program, the workforce housing program. I'm assisting in the multifamily housing program in the area of construction. I also work in any other area that I'm responsible for or been given that direction. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. My degree is actually in urban planning, not a Bachelor of Science. I graduated from the University of Cincinnati School of Planning. I've been here in Miami approximately 34 years. I will be retiring next year in July, God willing. After that, I've always been instructed to give the audience some form of a reference, especially if you didn't have a bio, so you can get a better understanding as we move forward in the discussion. Well, let's get started. I'm here to talk about the Miami-Dade County Condo Special Assessment Program. Can you change the slide, please? Let me give you an overview as far as the program is concerned. Miami-Dade County is providing funding assistance to help condo owners pay for special assessments that can arise from building recertifications. The Condo Special Assessment Program is designed to assist condo owners to address and pay for special assessment requirements that arise from rehabilitation and repairs as a result of applicable building integrity recertification requirements. Qualifying owners make less than 140% AMI or area median income can get up to $50,000 in assistance to pay for these assessments. We'll go into a little bit more details as we move forward. Individuals earning less than $95,620, couples making less than $109,200, three-person households earning less than $122,920, households of four making less than $136,500 may be eligible. Change the slide, please. Who is eligible? The homeowner must reside in a unit, and it must be their primary residence and homestead. Investment owners are not eligible for program assistance. Income is below 140 AMI. There is a table that we'll address later that will give you the income guidelines that we'll be able to get a clear understanding. What are the loan terms? Yes, this is a loan, it's not a grant. $50,000 with a repayment term of 40 years. For low-income families below 80% AMI, monthly payments will be $50, and the remaining balance due at maturity date. For moderate income families above 80% AMI, monthly payments will be calculated at zero interest rate for 40 years. Any cash assessments exceeding $50,000 must be used for down payment up to 10% of the loan amount. How can I apply? You can visit the website, which is on the left-hand side, or you can contact me at 469-2209. And my email is sean.tops@miamidade.gov. Now, let me say this. All my calls go to my staff because I receive a large number of calls. And as an example, 4 months ago, my name, email, and phone number were on the Telemundo screen. Therefore, I received a high number of condo assessment information in Spanish, which I have a staff that can handle that. But because of also the phone calls, staff basically handles my call. So if you call, don't get frustrated. If you send me an email, I'll be able to respond. And I normally respond by phone because it takes so long to go through emails. I'll give you a call and I'll send you an email if something in our conversation need to be reiterated and it had importance, then I'll respond. Slide, please. Additional details. If the owner sells the property, cash out, refinance, or ceases to use the home as primary residence, the balance of the loan becomes due and payable. Upon the death of the owner, the loan shall become due and payable to full unless owner of the property passes to the heirs of the owner, and they meet the following requirements. A, live in the property. B, earn no more than the maximum percentage AMI at time of transfer. And C, execute appropriate documents as required by Miami-Dade County. One-time assessment per unit owner and rehabilitation funds will be paid directly to the condo association. I'll expand on that a little later because we've made an adjustment. Mortgage payments and HOA maintenance fees must be current. A description of the work to be done and the scope of work will be required to determine the loan assistance. What I want to go to is more of the detailed information that will give you the requirements and give you also a clear understanding. So can we go to the next slide, please?
Mr. Tops, there's no other slides.
Okay, I thought it was the Miami-Dade Condo Special Assessment Program, which I sent earlier. So let me
I can find the other document. You're
Okay.
looking at the one that's Word document, correct?
I sent two emails with 3 different documents.
Yeah, let me open this one up. 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, it's just not on the PowerPoint.
No problem.
Share your screen. Okay. Is it this one?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay.
We've already distinguished that the condo assessment is for the rehabilitation repairs due to applicable building integrity recertification requirements. As we move forward, let me make this clear. It has to deal with the recertification as well as the structure of the condo. So let's move down to eligibility and requirements. Qualifying owners must make less than 140% of the area median income and can get up to $50,000 in assistance to pay for these assessments. Individuals earning less than $101,220, couples making less than $115,400, 3-person households earning less than $130,000, and the households of 4 making less than $144,480 may be eligible. Preferably, hopefully, the slide is there where we'll be able to show you the income limits. Program overview. I think these are the elements that most of the questions will probably be asked. The program will address physical damages to the condominium. We will not be doing barbecue grills, kiosks, parking lots. It must be dealing with structures. And if there is an issue or concern of a swimming pool, it must be part of the structure that relates to rehabilitation. Next, the homeowner must reside in the unit and it must be their primary residence and homestead. Investment owners are not eligible for program assistance. The program will provide loans up to $50,000 with repayment term of 40 years. Let me expand on that for a second. If you have an assessment which is probably phased then we will provide the loan for the first phase. We will also provide the funds for the second phase as long as you have a balance that is less than the $50,000. And it could be a third, it could be a third phase. Each phase is a separate loan, which will be a separate commitment letter in which you would have to sign. The monthly payment will be $50 for low-income families with the remaining balance due at maturity date. The monthly payment for moderate income families will be used for down payment up to 10% of the loan amount. Let me back up a little bit. The monthly payment for moderate income families will be calculated at 0 interest rate for 40 years. There's no interest rate on this. Cash assets exceeding $50,000 must be used for down payment up to 10% of the loan amount. Let me touch this point because I think it's probably one of the most important eligible items that's important. Your income will determine your income eligibility, not your assets. So if your income is based upon Social Security, that's your income. If your income is based on rental property, then we're going to have to require special documentation that relates to that because we need to know exactly what the income is. If you are self-employed, we just need various documents that will be able to support what your yearly income may be. And as we stated earlier, as you will see, one of the main elements of documentation will be 2 years of income tax. If the owner sells the property, cash out, refinance, or ceases to use the home as primary residence, the balance of the loan becomes due and payable. One-time assessment per unit, but again, we've made that adjustment, especially if it's phased. The rehabilitation funds will be payable to the condominium association. The funds will go to the HOA, not to the owner. The condominium budget and condo questionnaire will be required and reviewed, and that should be provided by the HOA. Mortgage payments and HOA maintenance fees must be current. We will get that information from the HOA. A description of the work to be done and/or scope of work will be required to determine the loan's assistance. Once you are determined to be eligible, we will contact the HOA in which they will provide a copy of the contract with the construction company or the engineering company. That contract will tell us two major elements. One, it will tell us the scope of work that will be done. Second, it will tell us exactly what each assessment will be for each unit owner. There's no estimate. There's no previous documents. This must be part of a signed contract. The next issue, which I think is probably the most important besides the other one, is that you can become income eligible right now. You can send in your application based upon the documents that are required. You can send the application itself now. And if you need to supply various forms of documents, you can send that also to us by mail, or you can bring it in person and we will add that to your application. I do not suggest that you wait and submit your application after you have all the documents. If that's your choice, that's fine. But it's first come, first served. And yes, we have a lot of money. Let me say it again, we have a lot of money. In submitting the initial application, we want that in person, or you can mail it. We will not take initial applications by email. Once your application is submitted and you need to supply different forms of documents, or we have reviewed your application and we need clarification, or we need additional documents that were omitted, you will be able to email those documents. If for whatever reason, we need a document that has to be notarized because there's some form of information you might not be able to supply, we want that original document. I do not want that by email. Semi-annual reports from the condominium association will be required. We will not monitor, well, the public housing community development will not monitor the work that will be done. That should be done by Miami-Dade County Building Department, if I'm not mistaken. They will also be the department that would approve that the work is done. We will not take an email or a letter from the HOA instructing that the work is done. If you have, Rebecca, I'm sorry, Christine, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about another coworker. If you happen to have that third email that I sent you, if you could open that up.
Yes, I'll be doing that right now. Let me change the screen.
If you can, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. There should be another document if you could find it. Bingo, that's correct. You go back. Yes. This document, as well as the other documents, are attached to the application. These are the documents that are required. As I stated, it's first come, first serve. You can submit these documents tomorrow if you have them. If you don't have them, you can submit the actual application and supply the various forms of required documents at your leisure. But I say that in a small way because you want to get the information as soon as possible. In reviewing the applications when they're submitted, we have hundreds of applications. So the next question is, how long would it take Mr. Tops to have the applications reviewed? It's going to take anywhere from 30 days to maybe 40 days. It might be shorter because we have obtained additional staff. So I'm pretty sure that when you submit your application, you're going to send me an email or you're going to call me to ask for the status. That's fine. That's fine. But again, it's going to take about 30 days or more for us to review the application. When you submit the application and we review it, we cannot make a determination if you're income eligible unless we have all the documents. So that means that your application may be reviewed twice. Once it will be reviewed the first time to determine if you have all the documents, if we have any questions or anything is omitted. We'll contact you by phone and email explaining what additional documents we need, or if we need some information to be explained. Example, you may not have a birth certificate for various reasons, then we will take a letter which is notarized informing us of the situation. The second time it will be reviewed will be the final element to determine if you're income eligible. Once you determine that you're income eligible, we will contact you so you will receive a commitment letter in which you will sign and send back to us. When we receive that document, we will contact you to set up a meeting with a specific time to come in to sign a commitment letter. Once that is signed, then we will contact the HOA to inform them that Mr. Johnson has signed a commitment letter, which means that their payment is ready to be submitted to the HOA. But again, that will not happen until we have received the actual contract to determine what the actual loan amount will be. So therefore, when we send the information to the HOA, they'll be able to apply it to whatever structure you have in the payment process for the overall assessment. Well, let's move forward with the required documentation. Number one, valid Florida driver's license or state ID card for adults. That's number one. Number two, warranty deed, quitclaim deed, or other evidence of ownership of the property. We also do our homework. So we will make sure that every application that is submitted, we will go to the building department, as the tax department, if I'm not mistaken, to determine who is on the mortgage. Number 3, last 4 pay stubs, unemployment compensation, valid Social Security award letter, and evidence of pensions, child support, alimony payments, if applicable. These items are needed in order for us to determine if you're income eligible in the overall review. Copy of Social Security cards or applicant and co-applicant only. Everyone in the house, unless they're 18, we will need the information. I'll go back into that once we finish. Number 5, proof of U.S. citizenship or current permanent legal residency. Number 6, most current 3 months bank statements for all accounts must reflect monthly balances. Number 7, mortgage payment must be current and provide copy of current mortgage statement. No coupons accepted. Copy of current HOA fees. Number 8, birth certificates of all household members, regardless of age, no birth cards accepted. Number 9, last 2 years of federal income tax returns, including W-2s, all pages and schedules. Number 10, current Social Security 1099 form. That would tell us exactly how much you receive monthly, which pertains for the year. Number 11, current proof of hazard insurance, flood insurance, if applicable. Number 12, copy of last utility bills, electric and water bill. I know that some of the owners will probably pay to the HOA, and you should have a receipt of that. Number 12, copy of discharge bankruptcy, including all schedules and pages, if applicable. Number 14, divorce decree and or death certificate, if applicable. Everyone in the household that's under 18, we will need all of these documents that relate to the individual element. So that means that the married couple needs to submit all the documents that pertain to each one. If there are 4 people in the home and 1 child is over 18, we need this information. That includes if they have a job, or their pay stubs, their Social Security, etc. The application will ask you on the first page, all of the individuals that live in the home, we need that information, except those that are under 18. Please don't, I say that sincerely, please don't take for granted that some of the items you submit, we will understand or we will know exactly what they are. Again, if we have any questions or issues and we need clarification, we will do that in the first review. That way, on the second review, we should have that information and we can make the calculation to determine if you're income eligible. Is there a second page to this, Christine, if I'm not mistaken? Yes, okay, thank you. This is the page that will give you more than an idea if you qualify for the program. The program, again, it's not based on assets. It's based on your income. So it's based on a family of 1 all the way to a family of 8. We look at the total family income. For example, in the family size of 1, you cannot make more than this last column of 140% AMI. I think in the previous document I gave you, that was based on 2022. This is based on 2023. So that simply means that a family of 1 cannot make more than $101,220. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. A family of 8, total family income cannot make more than $190,820. That last column is your main item to make your determination. If there is an issue that relates to borderline, we will address that as in each application. If I'm not mistaken, the question would be, do we use gross or net in the income? I believe we use gross, but even if we use net, which I'm sure we don't, I would recommend that you still submit the information, especially in income tax. Again, the documents that are required, we need those. We will not make that determine if you're income eligible without that information. Can you go to the next slide if you don't mind, Christina?
Mr. Tops, do you want me to switch to the next slide, page?
You can. I'll get what. This is the third page of the actual application. The most important element is the household size. As I just instructed, we need all the information that relates to all the individuals that live in the home that are 18 and older. So that means, again, we need the bank statements, we need income tax, we need Social Security, we need the state ID if they don't drive, or we need the driver's license. If there is a individual, a unit owner that a person only lives at a certain amount of time, we can address that, but I would recommend that whatever information that you have on that person, that you submit it. The next page, basic questions about you owning the facility. I'm sorry, you owning the unit, giving us the HOA maintenance information, monthly payments that you're making to the HOA. Do you have any liens on the property? If so, excuse me, do you have your home in foreclosure? Is your home for sale? Is your home for rent? Do you have any homeowners insurance master policy? If so, please provide that information. Do you have flood insurance or the master policy? Provide that information. And the last item at the bottom is basically informing us that the information that you submitted is true. There are some other documents that relate to this that we don't necessarily have to go to, Christina. That information is basically asking for your assets. It's asking for your information from your job or your employment, which is asking for what you make yearly. It's also asking if you have any outstanding bills, example, car note, things like that. That application can also, the entire application can be found on our website. So you don't necessarily have to, unless the city has that information, contact the city to get that information. Hopefully I'm not outstepping my bounds, Christina, but that application can be downloaded from our website. That is the end of my presentation. I'm sure there are a lot of questions out there, so let's open it up.
Thank you very much, Sean. A lot of information there. I digested a lot of it, but I'll turn it over to the audience. Christina, can you do me a big favor? And in the chat, can you add those PDFs that Sean went through? And if not, even the application that we have a link to it, if you can assist me with that, that'd be awesome.
Okay, I will.
Great. What I would do is we have a strong audience. I'll ask the audience member to raise their digital hands up by pressing the raise hand icon, and I'll call on you one by one, and we'll go over any questions that Mr. Sean Tops can assist with answering. While you think, I do have one, Jessica Sup. I will go ahead and allow you to speak. Please, the floor is yours.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you for all this information and putting this together. My question is, do the projects need to be planned and fully, like the finance broken down before you apply? Like if you know your condo, it needs work.
If I'm going to call you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sure.
If I'm going to call you Jessica, is that okay?
Sure, absolutely.
You can apply tomorrow.
Okay.
A lot of the condos, or trying to find an engineer, a construction company. Some are just having the meetings. So a lot of condos are on different levels. That doesn't matter. You don't need to know the actual assessment, but if they've given you an assessment that has to take place, you can apply. We will find out the actual amount when we get the contract. You know for sure that you're going to have an assessment. They probably told you it was 30,000, blah, blah, blah. It may not be the exact amount, but you don't need to wait to hear that. When the moment that you know that your condo has to go through an assessment, you submit the application. And once that's completed and we determine that you're income eligible, we will contact the HOA to send us the contract so we'll know exactly what your loan will be. Did I
Okay,
answer your
thank you so
question?
much. Yes. Is there a deadline? I'm the president of one of my condo associations, and we're in the middle of getting bids. We'll probably decide on contractors and engineers in January. But is there a deadline to have all the numbers?
Not at all. It's up to you guys. Even though it's first come, first serve, we have a lot of money. So
Okay.
I'm basically trying to say, I don't want to say the word panic because that's not the appropriate word. But the point is,
there's an urgency.
You can do it today. You can do it in January. You can do it in February. That's up to you guys.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Amazing. Do I have anyone else with any questions? Sean, it looks like you provided very thorough information. We'll facilitate the information as far as the applications and links that we went over. And we'll probably put an email newsletter out there tomorrow, just an update. So it will go out there to all of Surfside. And that way all of this information is captured there, as well as a link to this video. We're adding some of that stuff right now on this chat. So you'll see some of that if you can catch it. But I don't have any more questions, and I'll open it up one last time for questions. And if not, Sean, I'll hand it off to you to close it off for us. And I couldn't thank you enough for being here, taking the time out of your day to provide this very, very important information. Jessica's question was really good because how soon can you do this? If you know an assessment is coming, go for it. So with that said, I'll hand it over to you, Sean, to close it off for us as our special guest.
Let me say, I appreciate having the audience. I've done a lot of these mainly in person, so I'm glad this went so smooth. I am not a tech person, but I want to thank Hector and I want to thank Christina for making this very simple. I really appreciate that. I wasn't worried. I do this a lot, and I'm pretty confident. But when you get into technology, one element doesn't work, and everything goes wrong. So I want to thank you guys, number one. Number two, Christina, if you have any issues or questions, please do not hesitate to contact.
We definitely will.
You have my email, and I'll probably give you some more information on a personal note. We do not take this lightly at all. We understand what's happening. We purposely put this program together to assist individuals who are on a fixed income, also who live in older units. And let's be frank, this assessment is going to hit everybody. So we take it very serious, and we want to make sure that we do the right thing. So again, I want to thank you guys for allowing me to speak to you guys. And we're always there. If you need information, give me a call. Just be patient and send me an email and I'll respond. Thank you.
Amazing. I'm going to go ahead and conclude this. And again, we will circulate this recording as well as the supplemental information through some information that you'll receive via email. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I wish you an amazing New Year's, happy holidays, and personally, Merry Christmas. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Happy holidays.